What's up, bitches? Welcome back to the Rap Battle podcast. I somehow felt good enough about this to make a second episode. And really, if you looked at the title, you know that this episode's partly because, well, this is an easy views topic, but also this is kind of this is a cute Valentine's Day thing. And as you probably recognized already, and probably because I put it in the title, I am joined here by MetaMachine.
Hello?
Yeah, dope guy. He's pretty much, after the first episode, he was like, yo, get me in one. And I pretty much came up with this on the spot as like let's do it.
Yeah, I mean.
So today's episode is, we're just going to talk a bit about DDLC and in terms of rap battles, because we have to keep this centered on rap battles somehow.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, today we'll be reviewing 4 DDLC rap battles, including one of each of the 4 girls, and just kind of reviewing them based on our thoughts about the battle itself and how it portrays DDLC as a thing.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so our first battle we'll be looking at today is Yuri versus JD by Vinny. So, I'm not familiar with Heather's.
Neither am I. So.
Okay. we are both very unfamiliar with Heather. So, why don't you run me through your thoughts of this battle first?
Okay, well, I did look up clips of JD, just to know, his way of talking and general performance and attitude. So while I don't know that much about Heather specifically, I do have to admit that the casting of Xander as JD was the perfect casting. Yeah, go and say that off the bat. Because he sounds like exactly like him. I have to admit.
Yeah, I think I looked up Heather's a bit before too, and I was like, yeah, this voice is fairly accurate. To what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. In general, the darker beat of the battle that was not good grammar. The beat that this battle has is also really good and fitting from, again, what I understand about Heather's and in general, DDLC battles, they have such a wide range of moods and tone depending on how you
it's a trippy game.
How you take the battle and the Doki character in question, and this is one of the darker DDLC battles, I think, that comes to mind at least. So fits in that regard. Yeah, the writing also I would say is pretty good. I don't understand, a lot of it kind of goes over my head a bit, but just as a DDLC fan and a guy who only knows of Heather's and not much else, I would say that the writing does the job right and gets by.
I think this works as writing in a DDLC battle. I think during my first or second watch through, something that ran through my head was that this doesn't, or there are some disses that doesn't feel specific to Yuri as a character and feels just more to all of DDLC. But I guess that's not a thing that is really wrong to do in a battle. You can sort of just reference the whole thing. It would be a lot more understandable if this was Vinny's only DDLC battle. He wanted to get all he wanted out of the franchise into one battle and just wanted just the entire thing as a whole. If it was that, I would get it a lot more. But this was his second DDLC battle out of 3 or 4 in total that he's did. So that is he's got a few.
Yeah. But yeah, it it's good. Nothing outstanding, but it does, a lot of good parts.
Emily as Yuri, I think, is a casting that's been done a couple times by a couple series, per se.
Yeah, the ones that immediately come up. I know she played Yuri in this, obviously. She reprised her role in Vinny's Yandere Royale, and I think she played Yuri in an old Honeycombs battle. That was his version of Yuri versus Ayano. 1 second, hold on.
if I'm familiar, then she, if I'm not wrong, she also played Yuri during one of Avav's DDLC battles. I think that's also most.
Oh yeah, right. Yuri versus Toga, I believe, was the matchup.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, a big part of the since the whole thing is about DDLC rap battles, we are gonna have to talk about the portrayal of each of the girls specifically. So we might as well get into Emily specifically as Yuri. And overall, like, Emily nails. Like, Emily does probably sound quiet, but still understandable, and gives a performance that's fitting for rap in both this battle and just every time she does play Yuri. She's like, and she also deals the very unsettling voice and nature of Yuri really well. I would say though, knowing what Emily can do as a voice actress, and also how Yuri is portrayed in some parts of later parts of Act 2, I do want to see a battle where Emily does play Yuri, but is able to go into the more loud, yandere-esque, mood that Yuri can't get. Because, Yuri can yell and be loud and insane in battles, and, every time Emily does play Yuri, it's always, very quiet, which works, and for this battle specifically, that is intense. The goal of it. I'm sure Vinny intended it that way throughout.
Yeah. And as a person who has heard Hello Kitty versus Garfield, I know that Emily can scream.
Oh yeah.
Talking about portrayals specifically, I think this leads into two things. And the first thing we want to cover is more just a general Yuri note that I think you and I talked a bit about this separately, but there's a certain interestingness about how Yuri gets portrayed in rap battles.
That is
where
true.
It has this, this has this thing where I've labeled here in my document Act 2 mode / Act 1 mode, where Yuri is typically portrayed as one or the other. And there's hints to the other side, obviously. It's not just fully insane or fully quiet, but you can tell that it's a very dominantly Act 1 kind of thing, or very dominantly Act 2 kind of portrayal of the character.
I feel like this battle is a bit more on the Act 2 side of things, given that throughout the entire thing, Yuri does in fact sound kind of creepy, all bits where, Yuri does act more unsettling as opposed to just full out crazy in Act 2. But a lot of battles do either go one or the other. Most battles generally do a full on Act 2 side. Skips battle, Yuri versus Kunoha, is just nothing but Act 2.
Agreed.
I think the only battle to accurately show both sides, I think, unless if I am mistaken, is that show all of Yuri's emotions in ways of acting, which is Dustin's battle, which is a 2-line cameo verse basically.
Right.
And my battle. Not to toot my own horn or whatever, but
not to toot. Not to say that you should subscribe to
these days, but there's one thing that I think I succeeded fairly well. I think it was capturing Yuri's character, both sides of it. I will, to this day, I still give myself
that's
that.
Something that.
At the very least.
Yeah, that's something I considered picking this battle to review, but I thought it'd be a bit too on the nose to pick one of your battles for this, so I wanted to keep it I would go, if you did that, I would go into all the reasons why I don't like that battle, because that is my least favorite battle of mine, so that would have been interesting, probably a little too self-deprecating for this. Yeah. probably the better move to do
Yeah.
this. But it's a good thing that we talk about this battle, because I think this battle has one of the more interesting Yuri twists, in my opinion. This is one of the, I think this is the only battle to do this. Well, this is one of the, but Yuri falls in love with JD during this battle. Now, I don't know, again, enough about the character of JD to see, like, would this be an actual accurate thing? But it's an interesting portrayal of a twist of, usually, in any of the DDLC battles, it's just girl go crazy, go stupid, go brrr, and, they just start doing things. But in this case, it's almost portrayed as if JD was the main character in this case, as Yuri falls in love with them. And I think that's an interesting portrayal of the twist, and that's one thing that I really give it up to this battle for.
Oh yeah, my thoughts are basically the exact same as yours, but it is like from a certain angle very fitting and makes sense from a DDLC standpoint for that to happen. And I think I can't think of anything else like any other battle that does that, so I do have to agree it is one of a kind in that regard. And in general, I would say the way that Vinny pulled it off was well. I would personally have the last line, like the way that it was delivered, be changed so it was like just yelling, like like a passionate /
within full
notice. Yeah. But otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't have any issues. My dog's going crazy right now. I don't know if that's been picked up or not.
Let's hope not for the sake of this audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, this is a pretty standard, like, in terms of just DDLC-ness, this is a pretty well done portrayal. As a battle itself, the flowing and rhyme scheme, I think, was one of the strong points that I enjoyed out of this one. The beat, as we probably mentioned, is good. Yeah, I think this is just an overall, pretty well done battle. So, yeah.
It gets all seal of approval.
Yep. So next on our list is Natsuki versus Bakugo by Avav. I hope if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I think you are.
Alright. So, I'm gonna let you start again because my notes for this is interesting. So why don't you start?
Okay, well, so I've talked about this battle in like other places online, and I don't want to go, too harsh or ranty, and full respect to Avav if you do watch this. I don't mean any actual harm to you or your content. This is my opinion. You can take you can take it or leave it as much as you want. No bad to you. Just starting that off now.
Yeah.
But this battle is interesting. There's a lot that I personally think isn't that good. Like, okay, so
yeah.
I want to start with this at the very least because I do think I'll start with like the positives of the battle. One, the mixing in the actual audio itself is really good. Like it.
Yeah, I think
the
audio stands out strong.
Yeah, it's mixed by Dustin. It's like no duh, it's gonna be good. And both VAs.
Dustin is good.
And yeah, and both VAs are sound very clear and deliver lines with like an average flow. Like there's no like amazing super catchy parts of this battle, but like they all give the lines in ways that are very easy to understand, great mic quality, because I'm pretty sure both actors in this are like on the more professional side of voice actors. Like I want to say I could be saying a name wrong, like Jay Jitsu, like I know, like I haven't seen any of the stuff she's in, but like I know for a fact she's in like some like semi big like voice acting projects, mainly like fan Danganronpa stuff. So like I know the video she has like a lot of like talent in that regard. And as an audio itself, though, I have no issues with it. My main issues mainly stem from the writing and the casting a bit to some degree. I know it just said how good like the voice actors were generally, but some parts the voice actors in the roles like kind of interesting, for lack of a better word here.
Yeah. The Bakugo voice actor I think is a fairly good pick. I think the way I don't 100%, I'm not really familiar with like any of the characters listed against the DDLC girls here, but as far as I'm concerned of Bakugo or what I know of him, this sounds like a pretty standard kind of voice pick, and it's done pretty well. I don't have much complaints there.
Well, I haven't heard, like, I can just say I have watched My Hero. I would consider myself only like a casual fan of it, but I have seen all the episodes that have currently aired in the English dub of it, and I want to say he sounds nothing like the English dub voice, but I think Avav like watches / bases her characters' voices of the Japanese dub, so I'm gonna go comment there. And but even despite that, even if she didn't like base it on the Japanese dub, or both just don't sound like what's his name? How do you McYind? I don't know how you say that name.
We're not good at pronouncing names.
Yeah, like at least these Mick. I'm just gonna call him Mick, I guess. Mike.
Yeah, Mick.
Bakugo VA.
Yes.
The energy and mood he has for Bakugo is like perfect and actually amazing.
Yeah.
Like the way he screams his lines, the general annoyed, aggressive attitude, like he nails Bakugo's character down perfectly, and he's either doing a perfect impression, assuming he's basing up the Japanese voice, and that's what more or less the Japanese dub sounds like, or like he just did his own voice while also staying true to the character, and it's amazing with how he delivers some of the lines.
I agree.
Especially like in the backup vocal, I just bumped my pop filter. Especially in the backup vocals, with how he goes even louder with the yelling in there. Like if you hear some of it there.
A lot of yelling.
Okay.
So you want to talk about the Natsuki casting, because I see that you have some notes for it.
Okay.
Or at least
Okay. It's an issue with a lot of Natsuki battles, and this kind of comes from none of the DDLC characters, with the exception of Monika, have canonical voices, so it's very much up to interpretation of the person making the battle generally. But a big thing with a lot of Natsuki battles is that there's a very hard line between doing both a fitting voice without coming off as too whiny or annoying, and I would say Jitsu's voice is fitting to a certain extent. It's not like the typical high cutesy voice a lot of people give Natsuki specifically, but I do still think it kind of is a bit more on the whiny side of things. I would prefer the best way I could describe it. It sounds like a voice someone would do mockingly imitating another person. That's the best way I could describe this voice, honestly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think the Natsuki voice is it's teetering on the line of this is a portrayal of Natsuki to this is making fun of Natsuki. It's a very thin line of I do think for the majority of the part I'm okay with this Natsuki voice, because here's the thing and we'll get into more about my personal opinion on DDLC, but I very much think Natsuki is written to be hated in a way, as some characters typically are, because that makes them more endearing if they're somehow that have the kind of annoying traits. And I think that's one thing that stands out about Natsuki, is that she's written to be deliberately annoying to people.
Yeah.
But and I think that's captured here.
Fair.
Yeah. So let's get into the writing of this battle, which I think is our main point that we want to talk about.
Yes, and this kind of stuff in general could go for any of Avav's battles. No offense.
Yeah.
But
I think we should mention for anyone who isn't already aware that this Avav's DDLC battles typically, and by typically I mean without exception, have been against another MHA character.
Yes.
So that's the theming that she's gone for, which is to say that this matchup, within understanding now that that's her theme going on, this matchup is good. In the way of I don't think anyone else would have gone against Natsuki feasibly. But yeah, to the writing of this battle. So I think we both agreed on our notes that this was one of the more basically written battles.
Yeah, there's not really, all the lines in the battle are just so, the references are trying to make, and some stuff is, a lot more, just very basic insults that could be made. I'm currently on the SoundCloud page trying to read the lyrics, trying to good examples of this. A good example for this was line from Bakugo in the second verse. It wasn't hard to delete you, just a snap of the neck. It's that's one of the more
yeah.
That's
that's the thing that every DDLC battle would do.
Yeah, I think every Natsuki battle, and then just some extras, because, like we said in the JD Yuri section, a lot of battles do kind of make references to other characters in DDLC / the game as a whole. And,
yep.
Going over other,
neck
lines.
snapping and the kind of dad lines are typically made towards Natsuki as a general kind of basic emphasis.
Yeah. Also, this is less of a just the line and more the phrasing itself, which is how the My Hero Academia fandom is. But in Natsuki's second verse, you're an a-hole to your boyfriend and your fan will say to stand it. To this day, I still don't know if that is referring to Deku or Kirishima. Because, I could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because the line is very vague about that, because it just, that is the entire line, and there's no visuals to really convey what's being talked about, because the entire video is literally just a Bakugo PNG on the right side of the screen, a DDLC on the left side, and then one of those sound wave things.
Yeah, there's very minimal editing here.
The only editing is with the Pornhub logo.
Yeah,
which
we'll
I saw
get to
in
that
your
in a
notes,
second.
so I'm just gonna let you go from here.
Yeah, so I'll talk a bit more about the writing in general. I wrote down this and because I generally said it out loud while I was watching this battle. But there seems to be a fair number of threats here of Bakugo just repeating "I will kill you, you tiny child," but in a different way, in a slightly more creative way than I just put it. But I remember watching this battle a couple times and being like, why does he threaten her so much? Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's basic.
I feel like it's probably
battle,
real to the character.
Yeah, it is.
It's real. It sounds real to the character, but yeah. But I do want to say some plus sides to the writing, where there are a couple of standout lines where I think that are funny and unique to this battle. One of them being a line where Bakugo says something along the lines of, you think that you're important, but you're actually irrelevant in your story, or something along those lines. And that's that's one of the few times where I thought that was a really clever observation, because, and I'll explain it now for anyone who doesn't get it. In the story of DDLC, Natsuki doesn't particularly do much if you really pay, unless you actively pursue her story path. But even then, a lot of it is, if you play the game as normal and you kind of just date one of the girls, Natsuki pretty much does nothing for the entire game except sort of exist.
Yeah,
and I think that's a really and she isn't really even killed off in a proper way. Monika just kind of deletes her out of existence.
Killed off screen.
Tastefully killed off screen, I'm gonna assume. But yeah, it's a good way of using material. And another kind of fun line that I've written in all caps here is the Pornhub.com line, which is, I think, an observation made in other Bakugo battles, before and after this one, but
wait,
just the way it's worded from
are you
Natsuki.
talking about Bakugo's mom in general being used in a lot of Bakugo battles, or talking about Pornhub in general being used in a lot of Bakugo battles?
Bakugo's mom being used as like a kind of joke towards him in a few battles. But no, this one does it pretty cleverly of having Natsuki talk about Pornhub, which is just the funniest I don't know if it's a funny mental image, but it's a mental image that is not normal in any way.
It's like I will say, for reasons that may or may not be intentional with the writing of the battle, I would say that is probably the funniest part of the battle, in combination with the fact that it's the one line the video changes, the visuals change to the Pornhub
I think
logo,
it's like one of those things where they wanted. Yeah,
and,
they want to emphasize that line, I think, which is really funny.
Also,
I think it was worth doing that.
Also, I'm just gonna say this. While I was rewatching the battle, I realized that this was the first battle to use the Pornhub theme into a rap battle, and also it is not the only battle to use the Pornhub theme in a rap battle.
Jesus Christ. The rap battle community, ladies and gentlemen. We all deserve hell. It is all waiting for us.
Yep.
But yeah, wrap up thoughts about this battle. It's a kind of thing where it's like, this is the sort of battle I would recommend to someone who isn't particularly familiar to the rap battle community. This is as I referred to in a previous podcast, and I'm gonna start using this in more podcasts, I'm assuming, but it's a good entree of where, like, this is your first kind of step in to the deeper sort of the deeper well of rap battles. This is a very good
rap
one
battle
for
junk food, is what you're saying, basically.
Yes,
right?
This is the rap battle equivalent of junk food, where if you are familiar with rap battles, this does nothing for you. But if you're just getting into them, this is gonna get you hooked on. And I think that's a good thing to have. I think it's a good thing to have battles that the outside of community people can enjoy.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, that's our thoughts about this one. Good battle by Avav. That gets the begrudging thumbs up from us, if I put it that way.
Bordering, but like I would say there's probably more. There is more good than bad. I would just say the battle was like average.
This is a junk food thing where do it if you want, but we don't advise it. Oh boy, this next one is a fun one to talk about, isn't it? So next up on our list is Sayori versus Squidward by our good friends over at Uberocity. And I want to say something to start off this. This has nothing to really do with the battle, but I wholeheartedly believe that Sayori is the best girl of the entire game.
Same.
If anyone in the comments would like to convince us differently, go ahead and do so. I'll just immediately delete your comment because you're factually wrong. Media censorship in my rap battle channel. So let's talk about, with that great transition, let's talk about Sayori versus Squidward. Right off the bat, this is a matchup where if you know what the connection is, it's the kind of bad funny that can only be done by a series like Mega Hyper Rap Battles.
Yep.
And if you're watching this, you probably are familiar with what Mega Hyper Rap Battles is. But if you're not, oh boy, go watch it and then get back to us and tell us what you think. Because it's good.
Yeah, just watch the entire series and then just watch the entire series and then just reflect on life.
Yeah, just take a second. You'll need it. So before we get into the more mega hyper rap battles part of this, of how this battle goes, let's talk about just general notes that can be applied to any battle. So I think I've mentioned this to people before, but I truly think, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Asia is as Sayori is like one of the few perfect castings in rap battle where I can't imagine any other voice actor doing it. And if any other voice actor ends up doing it, I'm just gonna be like, but it could have been Asia. I probably
Think about it, I don't think there's any other rap. Okay, I think the only Sayori rap battle specifically I can think of from the community, or someone who was or has affiliation with the community, that does not have Sayori as casting, well, no, Asia as Sayori casting, was Avav's Sayori battle, because I think there she played
right.
Sayori, but otherwise though, it is always Asia, since I think the first time she played her was like in like Sayori vs. Napster Bloop by Tuna, I think, or something like that. Like it was casting set years ago, and it stands the test of time, basically.
Right. This is one of those castings that if you're doing a Sayori battle, you don't really have an option if you don't want to disappoint. Like there is no better casting for her. Mancha as Squidward is really funny. His Squidward voice is like, it's borderline of being an impression and making fun of the impression. But in a battle like this, it works better than than if it took itself seriously, like Natsuki vs. Bakugo, where in a series like Mega Hyper Rap Battles, it makes fun of itself. It's a parody within itself, and Squidward and Mancha's Squidward voice kind of reflects that in a way.
Yeah, even like in general, it is a really good impression. Like, I'm not gonna say it's perfect per se. Like, if Mancha wanted to do a perfect Squidward, he should probably sound a bit more low / monotone. Slash, like, in this battle, Squidward isn't exactly that angry sounding for the most part, aside just yelling.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, when it comes to actual impression, the level of nasal that he does give is very close to the original voice of Squidward, and in general is done very well. This was his first time playing Squidward, I think. I don't know. He played Squidward in an old April Fool's battle by Matthew. But he's this is like the sixth for Squidward, and he played him again in Rap Battle Arena.
Another joke battle.
yeah, like. But like, each time you play Squidward, the basketball gets more and more serious.
Yeah, if you cast Mancha as Squidward, don't expect that battle to be taken seriously. Nothing against...
Rest in peace, Ethan!
Ethan Zagranis, more like Ethan dead. Alright, so let's... I'm gonna really try to save all the very obvious theming of this battle.
Neighbors.
So we're gonna whittle that out a bit. But let's run through a couple other things I thought I should talk about. The editing for this is pretty good, if not a bit basic. But I think this is one of those series where the basic editing plays into the whole feature. Of it. It uses all the character. It's a good edit. It's good editing. I don't know how else to put it apart from it's good editing. Is it the basic editing? Maybe, but it doesn't take it away from being good editing.
Yeah, the AMV editing on Squidward's side is, I would say, it's very simple without with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was a single transition from each clip to the next. Just cuts, cut, suddenly, yeah. But you're not going for Mega Hyper Rap Battles for serious top-notch editing, really.
You're not going to it. You're not going for
it's not Mancha. I forget if it was Mancha, Adam, or both. They had specifically said Mega Hyper Rap Battles isn't necessarily a joke series always. Mega Hyper Rap Battles, I think they said, is generally a series that they do with matchups that are popular / battles that they will just do more for fun. So and this is definitely the most serious Mega Rap Battle today. If you watch the glory that is Sonic vs. Shadow or Spider-Man vs. Elsa, you will see there was a clear difference between those and this. So,
just if you have 3 hours to spare, go watch Sonic vs. Shadow by Mega Hyper Rap Battles. You'll need the 2 and 50 minutes just to process what you've watched.
Yep.
But I think we've beat around the bush enough. I could say more random things and try to solve this out. I could say, the beat is from Elsa versus I think Otzi of ERB they referenced that in this battle, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's I think that's an actual reference. But I think writing-wise, it's about the same kind of meme writing you expect. I don't want to dance around this. Let's really dig into why this battle is significant as a DDLC battle.
Crippling depression.
Yes, this is and I quote from my own notes, a scarily good depiction of depression where in Squidward's second verse, or should I say Suicide Squidward's verse, he just starts describing this sort of mental feeling, and man, it just, like, it's so weird to see something like Mega Hyper Rap Battles be so genuinely, like, on the borderline of, like, kind of scaring me of, like, I stepped into this and like expecting it to be meme-ish and funny, which it was for the first two verses, and then it just gets absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't go as far as saying the battle is terrifying, but yeah, Squidward Suicide's verse is definitely a huge
I think the
jump.
terrifyingness comes from the shock value of, like, you don't expect this battle to go this way at all.
True, yeah, which is very fitting to both. Well, one, to the battle for doing that, obviously, but also is very fitting to DDLC for those who have played or seen the game. I think.
Yeah.
But I think something that does help that too is the very minimalistic editing, like how we just see footage of, like, a desert in a sandstorm, a cloudy night with the moon shining out, with just like Squidward Suicide's picture the monster drew faded in, stuff like that type of editing. Very much does go into fits the very somber, subtle,
kind of almost
mood.
creepy.
Yeah.
And then this battle spins it on its own head as it goes, where, like, this, you think it just ends off terrifying, but then Sayori goes ahead and turns that, like, sort of depression fight on its head during her last verse. And I think that's equally as, like, it's such an interesting thing to do for a matchup. It's such an interesting thing that you never really imagine it being able to be depicted in this way. And yet it's done so expertly of, like, this feels like it's fading away from battle and more of just like a genuine experience of genuinely, like, a portrayal of, like, something, like, it's just so it's so amazing that, like, you almost forget that this is meant to be funny at some point.
Yeah.
Or at least in my personal experience of watching this battle.
I mean, though, like, some battles that kind of bring it back into kind of more funny territory, like the main line for me that kind of got like a chuckle out of me the first time I heard it was, sorry tortellini, I took your pasta and boiled it. So it was kind of kills the mood a little bit, but yeah,
Mr.
especially
Monika's
with the
thighs.
ending, like, freaking, what's the, like the, freaking,
the way that
I forget the exact phrase, but yeah, except, like, like, the last line, where Silly says, "Except go come for me and let me go," like, that is like, is the finisher that kind of ends on the kind of bittersweet, sorry, sad note, while also being a reference to Elsa versus Utsi. Like, within being depressing, Mega Hyper Rap Battles finds a way to be funny. Think about that. Yeah.
If Mega Hyper Rap Battles can make depression funny, why can't you? But yeah, this battle just does so many things that I would never have expected it to do. It uses a lot more, like, intricate DDLC material. It references actual poems within it, like the Red Mist line. I want breakfast. And I think that was something that I heard from Mancha, reading back on some things that I think was in the discussion of this battle, where it was like, he said something like, this is the best use of source material that you'll see for, like, some of the best. And I think it feels so true when you think about how the battle actually turned out, of, like, not just DDLC material, where it feels like a very real depiction of how the game makes you feel towards Sayori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can say even because on my first time on DDLC, which was I never actually as big of a DDLC fan as I am, and you specifically doing this podcast because of me or whatever, I have never actually played the game firsthand. I've only seen like let's plays and clips and stuff. But I knew going. My very first introduction to DDLC was the Game Theory by MatPat. So I knew when I first watched the Game Grumps' Let's Play of it, I knew going into it what to expect or whatever. But that did only make I knew the scenes building up to it more sad as I got actually attached. So.
Yeah, I think first off, 3 things. First off, considering that you haven't actually played through it yourself, I knew I shouldn't have gotten Patrick, but no. Second off, the Game Grumps Let's Play of this is really good because Aaron knows a lot of how the story is gonna go, and that only makes if you rewatch it, you notice what he says carefully. He's very much trying to hint towards Danny what's going on.
Yes.
And
The only reason I saw that Let's Play was literally because, back in, March or April of 2018, I think. I just told one of my older brothers, I'm bored and have nothing to watch. Suggest something to me. And he suggested King was the Let's Play DDLC, and he told me why it was so good because of the hints and the fact that Aaron knew, and I just that made me fall in love with that Let's Play. It's actually one of my favorite Let's Plays on YouTube. Period. Because of just that fact alone.
It is one of the best Let's Play experiences I've seen on YouTube.
Yes.
Because it's all so it's very real. But yeah, back to
the Rap Battle podcast. This is not the Game Grumps podcast.
Yes, I knew I should have got Patrick for this instead. So, back to this battle before we keep derailing. Yeah, this battle is one. It only fits in a series like Mega Hyper Rap Battles because that's the whole point of that series. It's to do things that you would never really see in a normal rap battle. Yeah. And I think this goes without saying is that you will really never see anyone attempt this again in a rap battle.
Yeah. I wouldn't Mega Hyper Rap Battles is a series that makes fun. It's a series that makes fun of other rap battles and trends that the community generally does, I would say. And this battle is a jab / alternate take on DDLC battles, and it does it very well. So it's very fitting and even meta to a certain extent that we are talking about this here.
Yeah, it is talking about it's a DDLC battle that pokes fun at the whole DDLC battle thing, which there are lots of, trust me.
Oh yeah.
It took me a second to decide which battles I wanted to talk about.
I mean,
and this is my brilliant segue. But despite all these battles, I knew that there was one battle that I had to get in here for 2 reasons. One, it is one that most likely everyone and their mother is familiar with. 2, I can put this in the description of the video and get mad views. So, let's talk about Monika versus Harley Quinn by the Dustin Kanal.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. You've seen this battle if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Meta, you have on your notes that you helped with this battle. So why don't you run me through how that went?
Okay. Okay. So basically, I was probably I could be getting some stuff wrong or paraphrasing because some stuff because it is from a year and a half, almost 2 years ago or whatever. But Dustin, he was considering a bunch of different ideas for rap battles to do, and specifically about Harley Quinn. I think he considered doing Harley Quinn versus Annie Wilkes, Spinell from Steven Universe, and somehow the idea of Spinell versus Monika came into mind. Dustin was really feeling that. But then I just jokingly said kind of sarcastically, why didn't you do Harley Quinn versus Monika as a Valentine's Day special or something like that. And that actually got Dustin thinking and ended up making it, I think. I could be wrong about that memory-wise, but I do know for a fact that I was the first one, I think, to initially suggest Monika versus Harley Quinn because of that. And,
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Here we are today.
Yeah.
And that's his most viewed video, so you are the reason Dustin is the gauntlet that he is today. Take that into consideration.
Assuming my memory isn't wrong, I would need to check old messages in the server, but yeah. And and because Dustin's battles are amazing on average, yeah. And I normally don't know most of the characters or people he uses too well, but if this podcast is any proof or whatever, I'm clearly a DDLC fan, so I want to hop on board and help as much as I can or whatever. So in the span of I think it was just a week, I made a 5-page note doc on Monika and I gave it to Dustin. And
who has that much material of Monika on deck? Damn.
And even better or whatever, that sort of spiraled into me doing other similar docs for all the other Dokis for other people's battles. So, and literally every time I see someone doing a Doki Doki battle with a character, and I trust the creator enough that it will be good, I just get one of those, just send it to them for literally all of them.
Dang. Well, I know who to come to if I ever have to do a DDLC battle.
Yeah.
No joke. Okay,
Discord rap battles. Monika coming 2021.
Yeah. Woo! But here's the joke, and here's a funny thing. Side note is that we were talking about, and by talking I mean it was just an idea brought out of nowhere. It was a bonus battle we could do would be something like Monika versus Scarlet Witch, and it came from the new WandaVision show about the whole glitching and reality effect, and we thought, oh, that's a neat little thing, and
nice.
yeah, and I was trying to convince my team but it'd be such an easy battle that we could bang out that wouldn't be too difficult because these characters both have enough history behind them, so it wouldn't be heavy research, we wouldn't have to make things super complex, and it'd be easy views. Ultimately they disagreed because something about Monika in the battle really irks them. I guess. Well,
Monika
knowing
is
how many
she is the most
Monika's
used
up
and
there.
milked of the girls, of the Dokis.
I could say you could make a case that Monika is one of, if not the most milked, just female characters that the rap battle community has ever seen.
Yeah, that's actually true. Actually, when it comes to overused characters or whatever, most people do think of Bendy, Freddy Fazbear, Sans, Mario, something like that. But actually, yeah, think about it, I can't think of any.
All these basics.
True. Yeah, I can't really think of another female character that is more.
No joke. We thought about, or at least I thought about, originally making this episode about, and here's the joke, just Monika. Haha.
Haha.
That was gonna be the title of this episode, would be just Monika. But then I realized I didn't want to watch 5 Monika battles, so I switched it up to just general DDLC.
Fair, good choice probably.
Yeah, in the end, probably a better choice. So, enough about us rambling about Monika. Let's actually talk about the battle itself. Audio-wise, this is a Dustin battle, all right.
The audio's bomb.
Yeah, it's the mixing is great. The casting are pretty all perfect, with the exception of I think Natsuki is one that felt weird to me when I first heard it.
Yeah, but yeah, saying Avav, she's a very good VA and talented in a lot of different roles, and definitely fits the higher pitch voice most people would generally give Natsuki. But in general, this is one of her roles that's the closest to a normal voice, and her accent is pretty noticeable, specifically when she says audience. But it's
not bad. It's
for
a
cameo.
So
it is it's fine. Not
Yeah, it's a cameo. You can't really get held up on it.
Yeah.
So something that and Dustin has done this with a couple other battles, but he infuses the melody of DDLC into the actual beat itself. Or I don't know if it was specifically him or someone else. It's slipping my memory if it was him or someone else. But
it was
the idea to do that and then but like the execution of it's so well, and he talks about it a bit more in his behind the scenes. But it's in a different key to the traditional DDLC tune, because it obviously needs to flow with the beat, but it's still enough of the DDLC tune where you recognize that that's exactly what it is. And I think it's so amazing that he has the capabilities to do that, and that he's continued doing that with other character themes like Mr. Bean, which is something I recognized first time listening to that audio. And amazing there. All good castings. The editing of this is also done pretty well, where it's 3 different styles.
I think so. If you count live action.
Yeah, we'll talk about. I have a little note on that in a second, but yeah. So so it was the sprite-based animation, which is fairly basic for most DLC battles, but even this one takes it a step above it. There is like a lot of additionally thrown in editing. There's the AMV style, which I think this was one of the earlier AMV battles Dustin did. It was like.
It might have been the first, actually. I know Naruto vs. Hercules was the first full AMV thing what Dustin did on his own, and this was before that, so it might be the first, actually.
Maybe it is his first AMV battle.
Dustin, if you watch this, clarify in the comments below.
Yeah, please do. This is the AMV editing is done really well as well, and then. He mentions this again. Dustin mentions a lot of what I'm about to say in his behind the scenes, so go watch that if you want to. But this is how he blends the 2 styles of it slowly into what you're traditionally used to seeing from a Dustin battle. Well, at least in that point of time, where it was more of his art-based sort of editing. Yeah. And even that's done really well with sprinkles of animation into there when Monika sort of.
God,
Monika
the animation
Harley
in this battle.
Into the vat of acid.
The animation in this battle, I saw it before the video went public, and my jaw dropped, and I literally rolled back in my chair a good foot or 2 when I saw it for the first time. I was amazed by how well Enzo did it all. He
made Monika climbing out of the computer work, and we got to see Dustin IRL, which is why I have a note here that says "Hi Dustin IRL." So hi Dustin IRL.
Yeah. Hi.
If you're watching this, hi Dustin. Hello.
Hi. I am waving. I don't think this will be shown in any way, shape, or form in the video, but I am waving at my blue Yeti right now.
I'm getting a sprite of you I'm getting a sprite of your profile picture. I can just puppet tool it so it can wave at the screen.
if you want to go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I don't do much editing, but in this case I will.
Also, if doable, have the sprite of me dab, because I'm currently dabbing right now.
Ah, great. I put that in my notes. But back to we are sidelining a lot. So back to this battle. The writing in this is. Again, about what you expect from a Dustin battle, where it's all really cleverly written. 2 lines that I wrote down that were significant was Monika's bird of prey line that I thought was really clever, and your ass got skedaddled by a computer mouse by Harley Quinn. I think that was also it's probably been done before, and it's probably been done a bit better, but even that was a pretty clever setup punchline kind of thing. Yeah. Those were 2
It's good stuff, and also the way Harley said it was done in a way I can only picture Harley Quinn saying it. So
yeah, it feels very character accurate.
Obviously the writing is very good, and what it does, it very much captures the kind of it's both. Monika in this battle is portrayed as the more serious character of the 2, so when she is rapping,
I think in a battle with Harley Quinn that's gonna be the case.
When the Harley goes full demented circus mode.
Yeah, crazy clown.
Yeah, and honestly, hearing these types of beats more, I think I'd have to say Demented Circus is probably one of my favorite vibes for a rap battle in general. So
yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Another note I think I had for the writing was, and I think Dustin talks about this in his podcast, which he's discontinued. So free reign for me to be the better.
You're the king of the rap battle podcasts.
That's true. I am the reason Dustin doesn't make any more podcasts. He's a terrified little boy. And I know this because I'm pretty sure I'm taller than him. But yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about, and the main point of writing that really impresses me, is the middle section with the when you get the other girls involved, where in just 2 lines for each of them, he captures both something that it feels like they would say, the Act 2 twist for all of them within each of their 2 lines as well, and he works in a pun that involves the death. It's 6 lines. And it is 6 lines that is better written than 99% of anything I've seen from the rap battle community because of what it achieves. It is actually incredible.
It's good that you like that because legit, I think it took Dustin and everyone in the group chat for this battle like an entire day to write those 6 lines. I don't think Dustin said this, so I can give some extra behind the scenes on this. We wrote all of Monika's lines first, reminding the battle because Hannah, the Peach Marvel, the actress of Monika, was going on vacation for all of December, so we had and just want her to record before then. So we speed ran wrote all of Monika, which was harder for the group chat because most of the people there were DDLC fans as opposed to DC fans. So we got all that done, just made filters on the Monika side. Then we wrote Harley, which was very quick and easy. That was when I got my writing credit when I wrote the Prince Charming couplet. That is my biggest contribution to this battle in terms of its writing.
So you're the reason Harley Quinn talks about thighs. Heck yeah.
Listen, it makes sense. Listen, I am so proud of both the line idea and the phrasing of it fitting Harley Quinn, okay?
No, I think the thing that I truly despise is that this isn't the only battle that makes reference to Monika's thighs. But you know what? I don't need to get into that. We're literally talking about
Sayori versus Squidward, where Sayori calls Squidward Mr. Monika thighs.
I think that's not the only time Uberocity does it as well. I think in Uber Battles Infinite, Thanos versus Monika, that's an actual line.
Yeah, it is.
You're another pair of thighs. just
Marcha / Adam, what are you guys hiding from us? Something you want to share with the class?
Dude, Uber Adam's love for Monika is very apparent, and that is something that he is very open about, as far as I know. But yeah, this battle is just a really well done battle. There's not much that you can even say that's bad about it. You can nitpick it all you want about things you don't like, but there's no denying the amount of quality that works up. This, as much as Dustin says himself that he doesn't get why this one, he doesn't think that this one should deserve the most viewed. This absolutely this kills it. This kills it. That's all I can really say. Yeah.
I want to say it is one of my personal favorite battles of Dustin. That is probably due to the fact of just how big of a DDLC fan I am, in addition to just how I helped with this battle. But I do have to say, just in general, this is one of the Dustin battles I personally enjoy the most. And I think it's safe to say it is one of, if not the best DDLC battle currently out there. I assume you agree on that, given
I think that I don't think any other DDLC battle really does it this well. So yeah, this is absolutely one of the best. And you know what? That's a good high note to end on. So that about wraps it up for the 4 battles we wanted to talk about today. We hope that if you didn't like DDLC before now, we've scared you into liking it. And that's my ultimate goal for this episode, is to scare you into either go to play DDLC for when Dan Salvato eventually decides to do more with the game, or just go watch more rap battles with DDLC, or go make one yourself. Like, we need more Sayori battles out there. We need more
There we go.
Natsuki battles, because, God, this was a hard process of picking out one for each, girl. But yeah, who cares about oversaturation? You think I do? God, no.
Yeah, bro. Like,
yeah. More.
if you want to be
you know what? Maybe with the
popular on
exception of
internet,
Monika.
just do. If you want to be popular, if you want to get somewhere, freaking make DDLC content. Why do you think Dustin made Monika in the first place?
This
Why do you think we're doing
is
this
my
podcast in the
inadvertent
first
way of
place?
doing. Since my team won't let me do Monika versus Scarlet Witch, this is my inadvertent way to sneak DDLC into DRB. So that's my win of the day. So yeah.
Nice.
Meta, do you want to shout out yourself real quick?
Sure. MGRB. Go check out MGRB on SoundCloud and on our new YouTube channel. There's currently nothing on there, but I might get back to posting audios there eventually, and maybe some videos. I don't know. That's kind of all over the place. It was an honor to be here on your channel and on your podcast.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me. And
Meta. Meta's a wholesome fella, and I think that's been a shared consensus across the FRB.
Yeah, I'm told that a lot more. I'm told about my wholesome niceness more than anything else. So has to be true to some extent, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, that's the Meta personality, baby. But yeah, thank you for if you've listened all the way through this hellish nightmare about us talking about waifus. I don't really know what's going on anymore, but we
talked about spooky waifus for like an hour straight. If you made it through
this was meant to be a 20-minute call. I will add, this was meant to only last about 20 minutes, and we've dragged it out to an hour. I warned you in advance that with some of these battles, I would probably go off about some specifics for. Oh, absolutely. We went off track a couple times.
Yeah.
I think by the time we finished reviewing the first one, I realized that this wasn't gonna get done in 20 minutes. But thank you guys for listening or watching or however you're experiencing this. Hopefully we'll have more episodes on the way soon. A couple of the next ones are a couple of the ones that I think a lot of people have wanted me to do as well. But thanks to Meta for being here, and I think there's only one way to really end this off before we go.
Is that a happy Valentine's Day to those watching? And
no, there's a better way to end this off.
Hope you have a sad Valentine's Day. It's a JustGamer is telling you now.
Yeah, that's right. Me and my
Be
girlfriend
alone
are
and
gonna
cry.
rule Valentine's Day. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. That's something the rap battle community doesn't. No, but the real painful way to end this is, and I thought about this right before doing this call. Meta, would you like to give us your ranking of the best to the worst girl of the 4 DDLCs girls?
Oh boy. Well, this is gonna cause a flame war in your comments / among other people, but
yeah, I hope it does. I hope it does.
This is purely them. In the context of them as characters, not to
your raw reaction
as waifus.
Your raw reaction right now.
Them best from best to worst: Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, Monika.
Wow. All right, now you've definitely started something in the comments. Let's go. And that's the real reason we're doing this episode. I guess I should give mine before I go too. Sayori, Monika, Yuri, Natsuki. And that is how we wrap up this episode, and we will have no further discussion about this off camera.
Yep.
Yep, and that's, goodbye everyone, and stay tuned for the next Rap Battle podcast. Wow, I'm gonna have to get used to saying that, but yeah, goodbye everyone.
only shows that remains baseless goes to the Watchmen to finally expose this two-faced racist.
Behind bars like those, you think a jail is where we settle these.
After our